Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at a great game, or an interesting game at least, I had in the Soviet premium cruiser Stalingrad. So as everyone knows, Stalingrad has been in the game for a couple of years. It was batshit broken when it was first released and was nerfed, I think, quite quickly to burn for 45 seconds. Or no, it was nerfed to burn for 60 seconds. About 6 months after it was released, and ever since then it's been quite a mainstay in competitive World of Warships, whether ranked or clan battles. So, as you all know, the Commander rework has kind of switched up the skills, especially for cruisers and super cruisers. So just a bit of history here. What we used to run on super cruisers was a battleship build. You'd run things like concealment, you'd run things like basics of survivability, you'd run things like fire prevention. So you'd drop the amount of time fire's burnt on you and the probability of being set on fire and the amount of fire locations. Every ship has 4 fire locations. If you take fire prevention, it's reduced to 3. Bow, stern, and about the middle of the ship. Now, this skill is no longer available to cruisers at all. Only BBs can take it. So while Stalingrad and Alaska and Kronstadt and Puerto Rico and all these ships burn like BBs, they don't have access to BB skills to mitigate said damage. So how to build super cruisers is quite a thing these days. So what we're going to experiment with here today is what we call the lighthouse build. I'm running first line. I'm actually not sure in this video. Either it's main battery traverse or gun feeder to switch ammo types, but that's not so important. Now I'm running pyrotechnician, consumable enhancements for longer radar duration. Let's just take a quick pause here so we can finish with the build. A longer radar duration, heavy HE shells, plus 10% damage for high explosive shells, adrenaline rush, heavy AP shells, plus 5% flat damage to AP rounds, superintendent for extra consumables, and top grade gunner. So if we are spotted, there's a ship within our spotting range, which is 20.5, I believe, we get minus 8% main battery reload. The ship's modules are range, the 6th slot, plus 16% range, so we go to 23.6. Steering gears, 5th slot. Damocon 2, the 4th slot. Aiming systems mod 1. The radar special modification in the 2nd slot, and I think it's main armaments modification 1, not so important. So the overall idea is to have maximum concealment, as in maximum, the least possible concealment. You're spotted from across the map, but you have quite a monstrous alpha strike and very good DPM. So you're giving up on trying to hide and you just try and snipe at max range. You try and win the game through damage. And Stalingrad's guns are quite good at that. You have great dispersion, very good, phenomenal AP rounds at all ranges, and pretty good HE shells too. So let's see how we do. Now, bear in mind, I chose this game because it was the worst possible matchup for a Stalingrad build like this. As you can see, I've got a Thunder and a Conqueror opposite me. They're going to try and burn me. There are no fire prevention skills to take, so every fire burns for like 40 plus seconds, and I can very easily catch a double fire. So this is the worst possible matchup. I would much prefer to have any other kind of BB opposite me. So, let's see. What kind of fighting? I'm going to have to fight this Conqueror and this Thunder all game. Now DDs are kind of making a bit of a play for C. And we're just going to see him try and deal damage, try and joust with these Thunderous Conqueror at this very long range. You can see how nicely our shells do even at this extreme range. But penetration is monstrous. If they give me a flat broadside, I can citadel them even at this range. So that's kind of the Stalingrad selling point, the monstrous AP rounds, the so-called Stalinium. We missed that one. If they are smart though, at this range they can dodge even Stalingrad rounds. So patiently waiting for some spotting. We can't spot for ourselves with this build, definitely not. Now I'm kind of hoping that Des Moines pops up, but in the meantime we'll continue shooting this Thunderer. So 3 minutes in, no ship has died. This is a rare occurrence these days. So we're going to have a nice long game, and we have taken the C cap. The enemy seem to be kind of pushing D with their Shima and the Yoyan. Now let's see what we can do. Flat-ish broadside Thunderer. So I popped my radar here because my teammates were pinging, so I decided there's nothing wrong with a preemptive radar. See how long the duration is with that skill in the second line. Consumables enhancements, an extra 10% on Russian radar. I think you're close to 40 seconds or something, 38 seconds. I think it was 35 before the rework, so you go to something like 38. So on the bottom end of my radar we spot this Z. I'm not going to bother switching targets at the moment. If he continues to be spotted, I might take a shot. But, I'm zoned in on the Thunderer. Sometimes changing targets from one ship to another really quickly is not always in your favor, because kind of you've spent the last minute or two aiming at a certain ship. You've kind of zoned in on the way he's moving and his behavior. Just switching to another target really quickly can be difficult. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying unless... There we go, it's a nice hit on the Z. But what I'm saying is don't just change targets all the time. You're going to hurt your shooting. Of course, the more experienced you are, the more practice you have, obviously you could do it with more ease, but in general, only switch targets constantly if it's really worth it. So I've switched briefly to HE, but back to AP. I really wanted to work on the AP at these ranges in this game. It's easy to switch to HE in Stalingrad's. HE is quite good. The alpha is fairly good. The fire chances, I think, about 35%. And the mere fact that the ship is so accurate means you get a lot of hits and more chances for fire. But look at that beautiful shot. That was 22.5 kilometers. And we got, what was it, 7 or 8 hits on him. 13 or 14k. So just with some good aiming, you can get hits like that. In Stalingrad. Now, say with a double rudder, we could do quite a bit of dodging. We really haven't taken much damage so far. We just dodge everything. And if you keep your distance, there were 5 penetration, sort of shame. And, if you keep your distance, you're able to work your rudder and have time to dodge. Your shells are a lot faster than most BB shells at range. I mean, definitely. I think they go down faster than Thunderer or Conqueror rounds, but not faster than Slava or Kurfürst rounds. But there's Conk. He's taking a shot at us. Yep, no fire. I think it was just 2 hits. Yep, we're doing consistent damage. Every solo gets some damage. We're working our reload. And kind of the reload we lose by taking the range module is made up by the top grade gunner skill. Yep, another tasty salvo. So there's no need to rush. As you can see, I'm keeping my distance. There's really no need to go close. 40 seconds fire duration. So now, repair or just let it burn. Either way, it might be painful. I'm going to let this one burn, unless I feel safe. Let's see. Now that Kurfürst is sitting like almost stationary, so he's worth shooting. We'll wait for the guns to reload. certainly looks like an easy target, but you can see he's probably just slightly playing with his throttle. Let's see. I just aim for the middle of his mass. Let's have a look what we can do. Fire is out. 4 hits, not so bad. 7k. Now I think I should have aimed a little bit further forward because he's accelerating. It's a bit hard to judge sometimes at these ranges. I think I'm going to completely miss. Yep, completely missed. So we're about almost halfway into the game. There's a flat broadside conqueror. Let's see what we can do. I can slowly move up. You don't want too many of these British BBs to shoot at you. Try and move around so not all of them they're shooting at you. You're going to go down pretty quick once they start connecting. Ooh, somebody hit that Thunderer. Was it Vermont or Thunderer, perhaps? So we slowly push up. We have a radar, if need be, for this Z, which is dark, or the Sommers, perhaps. Now, see how much happier I am with Kurfürst shooting AP at us. He's angled, so I go for the HE and see what we can do. I much prefer Kurfürst to shoot at us than Conqueror and Thunderer. Though I think we've been doing a good job so far dodging. Now the thing is that we need to push, because they're fleeing from us, so they're kiting, they have the advantage, so they stopped pushing. But we can get this cap probably quite easily, I think. I think we can get that Z. Smilan should be able to shoot him down. Yep, down goes the Z. And now, as they are fairly angled, I've switched to HE. There's no point just hurling AP against angled targets. Looks like 12 torps, that must be the Sommers. Let's see, maybe I can hit him. Yep, and we're able to dodge the torps. Most likely thanks to the rudder shift module. As you can see, no citadels yet. Stalingrad can citadel broadside BBs even at range, but even if they angle slightly, you're not going to get the citadels, but you'll get plenty of juicy penetrations like we have been all game. Let's have a look. Yep, there's a tasty salvo, 5 hits and a fire. And it always pays to pay attention to what your enemies are doing. Now, when you're shooting HE, you really need to count who has repaired and how long ago to stack the fires. Just shooting random HE rounds left and right. Yep, that was a nice AP salvo. So yes, you do need to pay attention to who has repaired. Maybe we can get some citadels here. It's almost completely broadside to us, quite close. And wow, 25k, he felt that one. Testament to the power of these guns. So I think our Smilan and our gearing played quite well around B. They were able to take control of the cap. We pushed up here slowly and took control. Another good salvo. And their BBs have been kind of pushed just into the middle of the map without spotting. So we certainly have the upper hand now. There's a fire. Again, the same conundrum. Repair or not. Second salvo, second fire, we have to repair. I pop my heal, and our repair is over. But I'm sure that that Conqueror and that Thunderer aren't done with us, and we cannot go dark. The next fire is going to be perma. So, Thunderer shots are up. Wow, that Slav is going crazy over there. Yep, we accelerate in time. He misses. Or some torpedoes from the Sommers, I believe. And this is rather unfortunate. We're going to have to take a Sommers torpedo. Bad luck. And it's a flood. No one's able to spot him, sadly, out here. And nor can I really hide. So see how quickly the ship goes down to damage over time effects. Just the moment you hit your repair. We do have Kuznetsov though, to buy us a little bit of time. It's a shame I took that torpedo. I could have certainly got 200k if I hadn't lost so much HP. but it is what it is. Nice salvo, see that, 6 hits on the Kurfürst. And the Conquest, so many ships the farmer could have gotten very good damage. And there's the culprit, Somers is still going, he's still playing around here. More incoming rounds, and down we go sadly. But, we were able to help the team kill Smaland. So, and we burned down the Conqueror with our fire. So, let's take stock. We are going to win this game. We took control of the middle. Slava did very well, got a lot of damage. I think he got 2,500 base XP. I think I got around 2.1 thousand base XP. I got second place in this game. What's my opinion on this Stalingrad build? So, well, I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it does deliver the goods. It's very good for randoms. As you can see, if you play smart, you can dodge a lot of incoming fire. There's really no need to get closer than 18 kilometers. Your shells perform very well at those ranges, both penetration and dispersion wise. So there's no need to get any closer, and at that range you have plenty of time to dodge incoming fire. Like, we've got 2.6 million potential damage. We dodged a lot of fire. We're a bit unlucky here with Somers. I would have hit the 200 mark. So this was probably the worst possible matchup. We had a Thunder and a Conqueror shooting us all game. Perhaps if they were better shots, they might have connected a bit more. That is possible. Those are your worst enemies. The camping Conqueror and Thunderer. You don't want them to connect. You don't want them to set you on fire. You've got no problem with tanking AP. If you're well angled, it can't really do that much to you. You'll take some superstructure damage, that's for sure. But, otherwise, the damage is kind of calculable. You can tell how much you're going to trade. You take a fire, or a double fire you have to repair, and then you take another fire, you're just going to have to retire. There's not much you can do. You take just too much damage. So it's a fun build, perhaps a bit boring. This might not be everyone's cup of tea, just sit and snipe at 18, 20, 23 kilometers. Though the guns perform very well, so it's quite fun. But you know, after 5-6 games it gets boring just doing this whole game. My other issue is that this is not a build you'd like to play in clan battles or in ranked. Your ship cannot push up, you cannot radar easily because you're not going to be anywhere near the front lines, so you kind of lose your radar, at least until the later stage of the game. So it's not a ship you can take into clan battles or in ranked, really. Other ships outspot you by so much. Everyone's going to be playing Thunderer. So I'm going to leave it at that question mark. Stalingrad can work in randoms. I was pleasantly surprised at how well this build worked. I was really pessimistic about the future of Stalingrad. But you can't play comp like this. Run concealment maybe. Once anything starts setting you on fire, your ship is just going to fall apart. So, fun for randoms, strong for randoms. If you're not against 2 Thunderers per game, the build will do even better. Overall, I think Super Crews are in a peculiar position at the moment, especially the tier 10 ones, like Stalingrad and Puerto Rico. Just fire hurts them so badly. Thunder and Conqueror being the main culprits. At tier 9, things like Kronstadt, Azuma, Alaska can perform better with a similar build, simply because there's just not so much high quality HE spam. All the cruisers have only 9 guns. All the HE spammers tend to have 9 guns, things like Drake or Rune, while Hindenburg and Goliath have 12 guns. That makes a world of a difference. And you don't have Thunder and Conqueror, which are kind of ruining the tier 10 meta, if you ask me. So, that's my verdict. Very good for randoms, not good for comps. Stalingrad is not dead, as I feared. So I leave it to you to test the build. And run Kuznetsov is really important. So, thank you for watching everyone. I'll catch you next time.